Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you 10 ways you can have fun using GarageBand on your iPad. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So if you don't have GarageBand on your iPad, you're really missing out. In addition to being a pretty serious recording and music making app, it's also kind of this fun box of musical toys. You can get GarageBand completely free. It's an Apple app. You get it in the App Store. You download it to your iPad. And most or maybe all of these things will work on the iPhone as well. There's a GarageBand app for Mac too, of course, but it looks very different. A lot of these things are very specific to using the touchscreen on the iPad. Now perhaps the simplest thing you can do is just play keyboards on your iPad. So you want to go over to Keyboard and then tap here and then it brings up a keyboard. And you can just tap on the screen to play the keys on the keyboard. Just play whatever you want. It's multi-touch, so you can press with more than one finger at the same time. You can also swipe to play. You can also choose how the keyboard works with some settings. You can also change the instrument right here, so you can go in and then choose another type of instrument. Select that. And then now you're playing that type of keyboard with its own custom settings as well. And I bet you didn't know that you could actually control it with your face as well. Tap on this button here and now it's going to use the camera to see when you open and close your mouth and change the mod according to that. Now keyboards aren't the only instrument that you could play. You could also go over and choose from a variety of other instruments. For instance, let's go and choose the guitar here and you can play the guitar with multi-touch on your screen. So you can touch individual notes, you can bend notes, you can tap different parts of the string and run your finger up and down the string. Play chords. You can switch instruments, of course. You could also try a whole bunch of other instruments. Look around and see what instrument you want to play. Now what if you're like me and you're not very musically inclined? Well, you can actually go in and play these smart instruments as well. And they group notes together and allow you to play kind of in a special way where the notes kind of make sense. So for instance, here's what guitar looks like. And it's really easy to get something that sounds good. If you go to another instrument like let's say keyboards, you can see here there's smart piano. And you can go in and it's the same kind of thing. You can play whole chords and the notes are grouped in such a way on this grid that you can just play around and it usually creates something that sounds pretty nice. Here even you can see there's a smart bass. It allows you to easily create or play with the bass to make something that sounds good. Maybe playing drums is more your thing. Well, you can select drums here. And you can play the drums just like you can play the keyboard. And with multi-touch it means you can tap multiple things at the same time. It's a lot of fun to play with. And of course you can change the drum kit if you want. Just tap here and then select a different kit. Sometimes it changes the whole look of the drums. Sometimes there isn't a representation for drums. It's more like these beat pads that you could play around with. And you could just turn your iPad into a musical instrument. All of this stuff is great for playing along with others. If somebody else has an actual instrument or another iPad, you can play together. Now if you want to create a beat but you don't want to just play it by tapping with your fingers, you can go to Smart Drums here and then it gives you this grid. You can choose the type of drum kit you want. Then you drag over the different drums into this grid from loud to quiet, simple to complex. So where you place it is going to determine how it sounds, what it's actually playing. Drag a bunch of these things in here and it will make up some unique combination of a rhythm. So you can do that. There's also a random button here and you can just switch around to play with it that way. Yet another way to create a beat is to use the beat sequencer. So you go in and you get this grid and wherever you place a mark it will play that drum at that time. So you can keep adding things here and make a complex but well thought out kind of beat. A lot of different things you can do with this. In addition to adding these wherever you want, you can also, of course, remove them and change them and edit them. You can do things like, for instance, if you were to swipe like this, you can turn a whole bunch of them on like that. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do. And of course, you can change the instrument that's being played. There are even some patterns there that you can just select to make it a little bit easier to get started. Now there's an entire other set of drums here called Drummer. And what this does is allows you to choose a drummer, in other words a style. And then it creates the track for you at the top automatically. And you can alter it by choosing the types of drums, the complexity, fills, all sorts of different things. It varies by drummer. You can select a different drummer here or a different style and do all sorts of different things. There are pretty much endless possibilities by going through all the different things and changing all the different settings to come up with some sort of beat that you like, maybe to have on in the background or to accompany some music on another instrument that you're playing. Now switch to the top from tracks to live loops and GarageBand becomes a whole different app. You can go in and select one of these and then it brings up this grid here and each column represents kind of a part of a track. You can start playing it and then you can switch to another part of the track, but it comes in at the perfect time, not when you tap, but actually when it's time for it to come in. So you can kind of select it ahead of time and you can see how it cues it up there to play it. So you can take some existing things like this. You can actually build your own too if you really dig deep into this. And you can have individual pieces playing to kind of create custom things. And you can switch to another column like that. There's so much that you can do. And you can just play individual items by itself like this. And listen how easy it is to make something. I'm just really tapping randomly here. I didn't prepare at all for demonstrating this. But it all just kind of sounds good. Now you can go back in here and there's a sound library and you can download new groups from Apple for free, including actual popular songs. So occasionally artists will provide songs and you can grab them and then kind of remix the song yourself. I won't actually play you any of this here. I'll just show it to you. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube for playing clips from the song. But you can see here, this is the actual song itself broken up into these live loops. And then I can just kind of select the pieces and jump to each section. Now, of course, you can also record your voice using the audio recorder. And when you do so, you actually can do just some fun stuff with it. Switch to actual fun at the top. It's what it's called. Record something. And you won't hear me record this, but when I stop, I'll play it back for you. And
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
And now you can change the filter.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
So it's kind of fun. You can switch to studio and you can choose from a lot more right here. Tons of different effects and filters and things.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Now if you can record, you can also sample. It's under keyboard. Go to sampler here and it puts a default one there. It's just a dog barking. You get the idea. But you can record something as well. I just recorded me saying MACMOST right here. You can trim it. You probably want to do that a little bit because there's always a little extra silence. And then you could play your sample. So you can record you or you can record any sound, record your cat, whatever you want to do. And now you can play that sound with the keyboard. You can also go here and then play the sample as a chord. You can go here and then you can get it to repeat the sound. So you just hold the key. And that's really just scratching the surface. I didn't even talk about the basic features of GarageBand where you can take various loops, put them together, record your own tracks, do a whole multi-track recording all right there on your iPad. There's a lot of ways that all this stuff links into that. You can use these to record tracks and then put drum loops and things under it. There's so many possibilities. So if you don't have GarageBand on your iPad or iPhone yet, what are you waiting for? Download it, play around with it, have some fun. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.